are today going to be having a little look at your gold dance and aerobics badge, so here we go. The first one we are going to have a look at is your changement. Now a changement is a jump that starts in 5th position with your feet and then you jump and land finishing in 5th with the other foot in front. So put your feet into 5th, hopefully you'll remember this from when we did your bronze where we learned our feet positions, which means you've got one foot in front of the other just in line with the little bunion bit on the front of your foot. You're going to turn your legs out but make sure that you're not turning them out too much so that your knees can't stay in line. So just as far as you can with your knees facing the same way. From there, you can have your arms wherever you find comfortable. I'm going to put mine down like this. And you're going to jump up into the sky, your legs are going to straighten, you're going to point your toes, and you're going to land with the other foot in front, just like this. Okay? For your badge, what we need to see is 4 of those in a row. So you're going to start with one leg in front, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And making sure that we start and finish each of those jumps with a lovely Demi plié. So you're going to bend those knees, but your heels are not going to come off the floor until you jump up. The next one we are going to have a look at is an arabesque shape. So nice and simple, we did this one at the bar for your silver. You're going to have your arms out to the side and you're going to point your toe behind you like this to start with. You're going to keep growing tall through your neck so your head is up and your spine is nice and long. From there, you're simply going to lift that leg up as high as you can, trying to keep your back nice and straight and your chest up. Now your leg needs to be at least 45 degrees with a nice straight leg and a pointed toe for it to count. You're going to hold it there for 3 and then you're going to show us the same thing on the other leg. So I'll show you to the side. You're going to go out like this. You're going to start with your leg behind you. Keep that back nice and long. Lift, lift, lift and try and keep your chest up vertically. You're going to hold it there. 1, 2, 3. From there you'll show the same thing on the other leg. The next one is a cobra. So you're going to start lying down on your front, and I'll show you the position first. What you're going to end up with is in this position here, so your legs are nice and straight. You are allowed to have your heels slightly apart, but don't go too crazy. And then your arms are going to be right up by your ears. So obviously this kind of a shape is ideal. What we're looking for is you trying to get up as close to vertical as you can, but because you have to start on the floor, that's going to be a lot harder. So you're going to start just like this, lying down. Keep those legs glued into the floor. So we don't want to see your feet lifting off the floor like that. Try and keep them pressed down. You're going to lift up and try and hold it. 1, 2, 3. Coming down. Trying to keep your arms as close in line to your head as you can. So we don't want to see this kind of a shape with your shoulders closed. We're looking to have your arms and your head in a nice straight line. Have a little rest and then you're going to repeat the same thing. So lifting up. 1, 2, 3. The next one is an attitude, okay? Now an attitude shape, for this badge, we can use a bar or a chair to support us. Make sure that you're not leaning too heavily on that. This is just to help you balance, it's not to take your weight. So you're going to start facing your bar or your chair. You're going to put your hands down, you're going to extend one leg behind you, okay? Now it starts off nice and straight with a nice pointed toe and a stretched ankle. From there, you're going to start to lift up that leg, and as you lift it, it's going to bend. You're allowed to bring your body a little bit forwards, but try not to drop here in your chest. You want your chest to stay upwards. We're going to keep growing tall through that head. Make sure that your underneath leg is still nice and straight. You're going to hold it here for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. You're going to have a little rest, and then do the same thing on the other leg. The next one is a chaîné turn. So for your chaîné turn, we need to see this on both legs. I'm going to show you going towards the right. You're going to point your right foot in front and you're going to have your right arm out. So this is 3rd position with your arms. So your right arm is bent into a 1st position and your left arm is out straight in a 2nd position. So this one doesn't have quite as much of a curve. From there, you're going to take a step to the side up onto your tiptoes like this. So from here, you're going side. After that, you're going to join this leg in and you're going to turn a bit around so that you end up in a 1st position with your feet. So you can see that my heels are very close together. Ideally, we want them to be as close as possible. So you're going to keep it nice and tight. You're going to just keep turning from there, doing tiny little steps until you've got all the way around. So you're going to go step, turn, and finish out like this, okay? Now, if you find that really difficult to do just that few steps, you can do a couple of extra steps to get yourself all the way around for this badge. So you could go turn, keep turning, and step out. But ideally, what we are looking for is step, turn, step. And then, of course, you need to show us the same thing on the other leg. Step, turn, step. So when it's the other leg, you'll start with your left leg in front, you'll have your left arm in that first position and your right arm in that second to make that third position to start. You're going to bring those arms in and finish. Okay, so your next one is going to be your chassé steps forwards. So to start with, we're going to have one leg in front and then we need to see this 4 times on this leg. Once you've done that, you need to come back and show us the same thing 4 times on the other leg. So we'll start with our right leg. You're going to put your arms out to the side, growing up nice and tall, starting with your feet together, and then as you start, you're going to slide this foot forwards. You're going to do a big jump up into the air and land on your back leg. So you're starting with your feet together, you're going to slide and step, jump, landing on the leg that was behind you. So if you started with your right leg in front, you're going to land on your left, and you're going to do that 4 times. So arms going out, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, have a rest, and then once you've done that, do the same thing starting on your left. The next activity is a preparation into a low leg pivot. So you're going to start this one in a very small lunge shape with your front leg bent and your back leg straight and your legs turned out. So feet out and making sure those knees are going right over your toes. Your arms are going to be in third position, so that's 1 in front in first, 1 out to the side in second. From there, you're going to press up onto your front leg, so you go into a rise with your straight leg, and this heel is coming right up, okay? Now, the easiest way to do that is to do a releve, which is going to snatch it up so that your toes go towards where your heel just was, like that, with a nice straight leg. From there, as you're rising up, you're going to snap this arm in to help you turn, and your back leg is going to come up into a very low arabesque. You're going to do at least half a turn. So you can show us more if you would like, but for the badge, what we're looking for is half a turn. So from here, you're going to snatch up and land. And you can land either back into your lunge shape, as long as it's controlled, or you can show us a nice landing into a low arabesque. That is entirely up to you. The next one we need to see is a series of jumps and leaps. So that's entirely up to you what kind of jumps and leaps you would like to choose. Hopefully, you've learned lots of different ones in your gymnastics lessons already, but you can also use the ones that you learned for your bronze and your silver dance and aerobics badges. So I'm going to use a split leap, a cat leap, and a scissor kick, which are 3 of the ones that hopefully you've come across during your bronze and your silver. Now you can do these any way you want, just make sure that you have a big space around you and a nice clear floor. So a completely clear surface that you're not going to bash into any furniture and you're not going to bash into any people. Make sure this one's nice and safe, okay? If you don't have space for this one in your house, don't worry at all. Remember, you don't need to be able to do every single one of these activities perfectly to be able to get your badge. So if you feel like this one isn't safe and it's not the one for you, that's absolutely fine. Just skip it and move on to the next one. For those of you that do have the space, maybe you have a little bit of a garden space or you have a nice clear floor. If you have a big living room or a big bedroom, then maybe you're lucky here. Then this is what we're going to do. You can join up the 3 leaps into whichever kind of a sequence you want. So you need to show us a nice smooth transition in between all 3 of them. So that could be some chassé steps, some skips, just a couple of steps to get you into the next leap. And you can travel in any direction you choose. What we are looking for is for you to use as much of the space that you have available as possible. Now, if you only have a small space available, that is absolutely fine. Just use the space you've got. Please be careful that you don't bash into the walls or anything. Okay? If you do have a bigger space, we'd love to see you use it. So, for example, I'm going to start here. I'm going to do a chassé and a split leap. Then I'm going to take a little skipping step, and then I'm going to do a cat leap. From there, I'm going to take another chassé and I'm going to do a scissor kick to finish. So there's me using all of my space. Now you don't have to follow the pattern I'm following, you can do anything you want. So it looks like this: chassé, split leap, skip, cat leap, chassé, scissor kick. Something like that. Get inventive. The next one we are going to have a look at today is your demi and your full pliés into a rise. We need to see these in first position, second position, and fifth position. So we'll start in first, and you can have your bar or your chair, whatever you've been leaning against. Just make sure you're not putting all your weight on it. It's just there to keep you balanced, okay? So we're going to start with our feet in a first position. Hopefully you'll remember that one from your bronze. You've got your heels together. Your toes are coming right out to make sure that your knees can still go over your toes. Keeping your back up nice and straight. Now I'm going to put my arm into a second position, just so that it's out the way and it looks very nice and pretty next to what I'm doing. I'm going to bend my knees into my demi-plie, and then I'm going to stretch. From my stretch, I'm immediately going to keep rising up, so my toes come off the floor, I've got nice straight legs, and my head is going right up towards the ceiling, okay? And then rise, lower back down from your rise. So from there, you've got one demi, stretch, and a rise, and a lower. That's your demi-plie in first into your rise. We need to see 4 of those. After that, we need to see 4 full pliés into a rise. So you're going to go demi. Remember, only pull those heels off as much as you absolutely have to. Back into your demi, and stretch, and then straight into your rise, and lower. We need to see 4 of those. After you finish that, we're going to go into a second position, okay? Now don't forget, your second position, your heels never come off the floor, even in your full plié, okay? So the demi one looks like this. We've got just half a way down, stretch, and a rise, and a lower. We need to see 4 of those. And then your full plié, you're going to go all the way down, keeping your heels down. You're going to go up, and you're going to go rise, and lower. 4 of those. After that, we're going to do 4 in fifth. Now the fifth ones work the same way as your first ones. So your heels stay down for the demi, making sure that your knees are going right over your toes, and stretch, keeping that back nice and long, head up, and the rise. And then your fifth one, your heels are going to come just off, just enough that you need to. So your demi, they stay down. As you're going into your full, they're coming off just as much as you need to allow yourself to go all the way down to the bottom. Put them down as soon as you can for your demi. Stretch, rise, and lower. So that's quite a lot of information. For your badge, what we need to see is 4 demi-pliés in first, into your rise each time. 4 full pliés in first, into your rise each time. 4 demi-pliés in second, into your rise. And then 4 full pliés in second, into your rise. And finally, 4 demi-pliés in fifth, into your rise. And then 4 full pliés in fifth, into the rise. I hope you've got all that. Good luck. The next activity we are going to have a look at is your split leap. Now we've done split leaps before in previous badges. This one we're really focusing on trying to get our legs as close to your split position as you possibly can. Now I'm sure you'll all be nice and warm and have done all your warm-ups before you start all the exercises, but for the split leap we really need to make sure our legs are nice and warm before we start so that we don't get injured. So if you haven't done enough split stretching today already, then take a pause here and do a few little extra stretches. You can do some lunges like this. You could stretch back and try and get your nose towards your shin. You can do a bit of rocking here. There are lots of different ways. Just make sure that your legs are nice and stretched out before you do this one so we don't get anybody being hurt. Once you're ready to go, then we can take a little step or a little run into it. Your arms are completely optional, so I like to have mine out to the side because I feel that helps me the most, but it's entirely up to you. We're going to start over here a little bit. You're going to take a step into it from here, or a very small run, but make sure you don't go running for miles, and you're going to swish that leg right out and try and have your legs completely at 180-degree split, or as close to it as you can get. So just like this, and a nice controlled landing. The next one is a capoeira. Now this is a capoeira that you find in aerobic gymnastics, okay? So it's not the kind of capoeira you might have found in other forms of dance or in martial arts in the past. If you're not sure what it is, have a Google. There are plenty of videos out there of a capoeira for aerobic gymnastics. But I'll talk you through it nice and quickly now. You can start wherever you find it the most comfortable. I'm going to start in the front support. Well, the main thing that we're looking to see is for this leg, your working leg is going to kick right up into a split position in front, and at the same time your supporting leg is going to jump up to get as close to horizontal as possible. You can then finish in whatever position you would like, but of course if you're nice and flexible, then the easiest way to finish, if your leg's already up here, would be to drop down into the splits. If you're not so flexible, that's absolutely fine. The finishing position is optional, okay? So you can finish lying on your front if you prefer that. Make sure you've got a nice soft surface to land on, of course, because this one's quite a fast skill. So I'm going to start with my front support, but again, you can start wherever you like. You're going to jump up, you're going to kick your leg and land in the splits. Something like that. The next one is a 1.5 turn to finish kneeling. So you may remember from a previous badge, we've already done a full turn to finish landing on the knee. This one is exactly the same, except you're going to turn an extra half a turn. You can choose whether you want your arms to come up this way or whether you want to wrap them in to help you with the twist. That's up to you. What we are looking for is for you to land on one foot and then to pretty quickly straight away go down onto your other knee, making sure that there's not too much of a pause, but also making sure that we don't bash down onto the floor. So make sure it's nice and controlled at the end so you don't hurt your knee. Of course, one of the most important things for this is that you have a soft surface underneath. If you don't have a mat to do this on or anything very soft, please don't do it. We don't want anybody to be hurt doing these activities, okay? You're going to start, I'll show you facing the side, with your arms right up. You're going to bend your knees a bit to help you push off, and then from there you're going to swing up. Your arms are going to come up this way, or they're going to wrap in that way to help you with the turn, okay? The next activity is a Cossack jump. So for those of you that know a W jump, this one's quite similar, just without quite as much of a fold in our knee and in our hip angle, okay? You're going to start with your arms up, you're going to swing them down, and you're going to jump up so one leg comes up nice and straight in front, the other leg is going to be bent, ideally with your toes pointing down to the floor. You're going to bring your arms forwards and up and out, and then extend your legs to finish, and of course, don't forget your lovely landing position so we have a nice, safe landing, okay? The next one is a grapevine, this time in the shape of a square, okay? So you've probably already done your grapevine in a straight line for your bronze, and then a grapevine in an L shape for your silver. To finish for your gold, you just need to complete that L shape that you were already doing until you finish back where you started. For this, we need 4 counts of 8, which means you're going to have to do your square twice through to get to the end of the 4 counts of 8. So you're going to start facing the side, going along this line here. I'm going to put my hands on my hips. You can choose where yours go. You're going to go step, cross, step, and then either a little jump or a step to finish facing a quarter turn. Then you keep going on the same leg. Step, cross, step, and you're going to keep turning the same way. So if you're using your right leg, you're going to turn towards the right. You go step, cross, step, keep either jump or turn there, and then step, cross, step, turn. Okay, so for the 4 counts of 8, it's going to look like this. Try and keep in the nice steady rhythm all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next activity is jumping jacks to music, this time at 140 BPM. So you may remember from your silver badge, you did 130. Well, this time we have a piece of music for you which is 140 BPM. All you have to do is jumping jacks in time to the music. We need to see 4 counts of 8 of these jumping jacks. So here we go. Is a routine to music, and again this one is 140 BPM. So the routine is going to go march, march, jumping jack, knee lift, kick. Okay? With this one, we're looking for you to do it 4 times, going forwards on the first one, backwards on the second one, forwards on the third one, backwards on the fourth one. So each one of them is going to travel. Here we go. routine we need to see to the music is one that goes like this. Lunge, jumping jack, knee lift, skip. And again, we need to see this one 4 times through, going forwards, back, forwards, back. So have a little practice of the routine first, and then when you're ready, we can put the music on. And then backwards. So don't forget, you're going forwards, back, and that will make your 4 counts of 8. The next activity is an airborne plyo push-up. Now this one requires a lot of strength in your arms and in your core, so we're going to need lots of conditioning to be able to get this one done. How it works is, you're going to start in your front support shape, you're going to bend your arms into a press-up with your elbows coming out towards the side, you're going to push up, and as you push off, you're going to jump so that your hands and your feet come off the floor, and then you're going to finish landing with your arms nice and bent into a bent arm support. Now if you can, the position in the air is optional. So if you find it easier, you can just stay in that nice press-up position. But if you would like to get fancy, you can also bend your arms and bring everything out into a nice straight line, still remembering to bend your arms as you land. So from here, you're going to bend your arms, push up, and land in bent arms. But of course, extending out if you can, as long as you remember to bend your arms when you land. The next one is a half double leg finishing in a back support. Now this one requires far more strength than I actually have, so I'm going to do my best to explain it to you, and then hopefully you can give it a good go at home. Again, making sure with this one especially that we have a nice soft surface so that you're working on a mat. If you don't have a soft surface, please don't do this one because it requires landing with your hands and your heels on the floor, and if you land too heavily, you could really get very hurt. So make sure you've got a soft mat. If you don't have a soft mat, just skip this one, move on to the next. That's absolutely fine. If you do, how this one is going to work is you can choose which way round you want to go, but you're going to start in your front support shape. You're going to press onto one of your hands and your legs are going to swing round in the opposite direction. So you'll jump your feet off the floor, your legs will swing all the way around this way through a side support to finish in a back support coming this way, okay? So you're starting in your front support, jumping those legs off and landing here. The next one is a jump into a box split position, so 2 legs out nice and straight, ideally horizontal. What we're going to start with though is a leg swing. So you're going to start facing the side, your leg and your arms are going to swing up across your body, and then as you turn, you're going to swing them up. Now your arms are optional in the leap. I like to have mine out to the side because I think that swing action helps me to get higher off the floor, but it's entirely up to you. You're going to finish, after you've landed there, into a nice landing position, so make sure 2 feet are landing on the floor at the same time.